It is Elimination Tuesday at America's home for stock car racing. This 1.5 mile quad oval gives us a real challenge, with two different ends on the speedway, with 1 and 2 being bad fast and 3 and 4 tightening up on the exit. This track can really separate the boys from the men as we take our championship field from 5 drivers from 10. It's the virtual Charlotte Motor Speedway play and host to round 22 of 24 on the Speed Racing Network HairClub Truck Series season. I am Emerson Arden with Jonathan Byer alongside myself in the virtual booth this evening, and we're excited to bring you live coverage from virtual Concord, North Carolina. Last time it was Sean Merriman coming in the clutch, winning his first career SRN race en route to locking himself into the Championship 5 ahead of all the carnage and dismay that occurred in Michigan. We look forward now, 8 drivers still vie for 3 remaining spots in what is the final Elimination Tuesday of the season. JB, I know you got something.
Yes, I do. We're going to start this announcement now. Drivers, if you would, your attention for a second. I want to briefly take a second to offer our condolences to Dan and Ben Park. Their grandmother passed away this past week. We've been thinking about you guys. If you guys would, with the broadcast as well, just observe a brief moment of silence in honor of them. Thank you. Thinking about you, Ben and Dan. Have a good run tonight.
Absolutely. Our lots of prayers with the Park family. And we're going to go through our starting lineup real quick before we kick things off this evening here at Charlotte, JB. It is Drake Carty and David Flanagan on the front row. And JB, both of these drivers could use a great run tonight. Both of them come into tonight's race below the cut line. And Flanagan is on the cut line. But both of these drivers could use a great run to lock their playoff chances in. Andrew Harris, James Shanewolf, Kyle Johnson, Jeffrey Radke, Jeffrey Vickery, Lane Doyle. The top 10 is Jason Kratke and Joshua Siegfried.
Yeah, and then on back from there, Chris Luttrell, 11th, Sean Woodside, 12th, Ben Park in 13th, Bo Brady, 14th, Sean Merriman, 15th, Connor Cunningham, 16th, Dalton McKinney, 17th, Scott Kalal, 18th, Dan Park, 19th, and Joe Ruggles will round out the 20-truck field we have here tonight.
20 drivers ready to do battle here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. We'll take a quick peek at the standings coming into today's race. You see Radke and Merriman, they're locked in. Doyle and Shanewolf, they got a good gap, but it's Flanagan and Johnson to cut line. Carty, Cunningham, Luttrell, and Harris all need some help coming into today's race. JB, any quick thoughts?
Well, we're about to get this thing started, so we'll send it back down to the track, but we'll be referencing those points all night tonight, so just be ready for that. And if your driver's on the cut line, you might want to send them with some well wishes.
Well, here we go. The iRacing.com safety vehicle will find its safety down in the pit lane. The field is in the hands of Drake Carty, and green flag is in the air. We are racing from Charlotte. One lap removed, this field is already a little wound up. Here we got battles here between Flanagan and Harris. JB Harris in a must-win situation. Flanagan, the driver on that cut line, and Carty trying to go to the defense, but Flanagan around the outside. Flanagan clears to the lead.
I feel like these three, we're going to see a battle between them all evening. And Emerson, we all remember what happened last time Harris was in a must-win situation. He just went out and dominated. I think it's going to be a little tougher for him to do that here tonight, but he's starting off on the right game plan here. One of the early ones, too, we're seeing run the top, which is something unique here about Charlotte. You know, lots of lanes available, but a big difference on how your truck goes throughout the run. based on how you choose to run early. So a little bit surprised to see some of the guys up there early, but that could be just trying to get some track position while they can.
So far, so clean for our 20 driver field this evening. Here from the Charlotte Motor Speedway, the top 6 all playoff drivers. And there's a battle for 6th as we speak. It is Vickery trying to work the outside of James Shainwolf.
James Shainwolf, a driver who we've seen dominate all season on a different fronts, won a lot of races. Obviously, when it comes to this time of the playoffs, you know you're safe to the next round, but also you kind of don't want to let up either because you want to make sure you maintain a lot of positive momentum going into the last couple races of the season. So that's going to be a focus of Mr. Shainwolf tonight, but good start for Jeffrey Vickery as well in this one.
You can see the field already working themselves into their respective little pockets. The real battle right there is Vickery clears by Shainwolf. Cal Johnson in that 48 machine trying to stay ahead of the 3 of Jeffrey Radke as they work it out for P4.
Yeah, like any mile and a half race in the trucks, the draft does play effect. I'd say it's not as great here as it is in a place like Las Vegas, but the pull down the straightaways can still be what kind of segments these guys into groups and can really help with passing if you're able to play it on the right way. But what really helps separate the groups at Charlotte is just the fact that you can run so many different lanes, but also because of that, it's easy to get held up too if you get stuck in a bad spot. Especially later in the runs, it's harder to pass on the bottom and all that good stuff. We kind of saw some of that play out last week at Michigan. Very similar to how all that plays and the kind of the style of passing you're going to need just on a track of a little bit of a smaller scale.
We ride on board of Andrew Harris as he continues to work on the 5 of David Flanagan, and you notice the lighting here, JB. This is not typical race running time for these guys. We're at sunset for this race, so we will experience a little bit of a day to night transition tonight. And of course, when the sun goes down, the grit comes up, as they say. How do you expect this race to play? Do you expect to see comers and goers as a result of the day tonight?
Yeah, I think that's what we're going to see, mainly because the track, it's not as drastic on the sim as it is in real life, but the track temperature will drop, and so that does change a little bit. If you're somebody that practiced a little bit more when the track temperature was a little bit lighter, that makes a difference on how you're kind of approaching it. But there's a lot that can be had early, especially if this race kind of falls into a green style feel, which is something that can happen here at Charlotte quite often. And so, we're off to a good start on that front here tonight. But you're going to see probably, Emerson, I'd say about halfway through this race, that sun's really going to dip behind the grandstands. And it's going to transition into a night race, which is how this race was originally scheduled. So a little bit of a wrench that was thrown into the plans tonight with a little bit of scheduling. But, the playing field's the same for everybody. They all just have to figure out how to use it.
Yeah, we are starting a little later, and by little, almost half an hour behind schedule. Typically, we run here at SRN, and that's just some logistics. Had a wrench thrown into things before the session went live today, and we decided to still give these drivers their full practice allotment because it is a playoff race. It is Elimination Tuesday, as it is.
That's right, and that's any elimination race. The thing you have to consider, real tight there off turn 4 between Kyle Johnson and Jeffrey Vickery. That might cost Vickery another spot there with Shainwolf working the inside. But, when you're talking about elimination race, the one thing you have to consider, whether you have to win or you could possibly point your way in, the one thing you can't do is take yourself out of the race early. By making a mistake, maybe a move that you shouldn't, trying to be a little too aggressive early, that actually can ultimately help just the overall racing product, because as we go around, things will settle in a little bit. But, if we get some cautions later in the race, you're going to see that desperation start to come out, and that's going to be it. So, interesting kind of play here. And then also I was looking at the fuel strategy options. So, this race only being 95 laps, kind of plays into some strategy ideals that you can try to stretch this to possibly one stop, but you would have to start saving from the drop of the green flag. Don't see anybody really doing that obviously now, but if they do sit in the draft, you know, like we see here with Harris or Carty, where you're not getting a lot of pole, or you're getting a lot of pole, that can help. But we'll see. I don't think they're going to want to go that far on tires anyway. I think they're splitting this race into thirds. If it goes green, it's going to be the popular move, but we always are dumbfounded by somebody's strategy, and sometimes it ends up working.
How about last week? The strategy playing out in Papa Sean's favor. Sean
right.
Merriman 1 week ago pulled some of the craziest strategy at the time. We thought he was absolutely nuts. And it turns out it worked out perfect for him.
Week prior, Andrew Harris did the same thing.
Yep. And so Harris right now, he's in a thick battle. He actually found a way around Drake Carty and is now trying to stay ahead by running that fence right up there against the outside wall. You can really carry the most momentum you can up there on that fence, but of course it really tightens up there in 3 and 4.
Yeah, and this far into the race is when you will see a little bit more on the comers and goers. The guys that are a little bit better at saving tire, you're going to see start inching their way closer and closer to the front. Some of the guys who just kind of put the pedal down at the drop of the green flag, you're going to see them start to slip a little further and further. So you're going to start to see kind of the zippering effect of the field about, you know, who can save tire and who can't. Honestly, the hardest place in the field to do this is from the lead, where Flanagan is, because you have all that clean racetrack in front of you, clean air, the truck can handle good. You still got to manage your stuff, and you don't really want to have to stay close to Harris in your mirror either. So it's a fine line. We'll see how it plays out. But Harris, like I said earlier, he's jumping up to the top quick, and he's getting some runs.
Yeah, our trucks here at Charlotte, JB, they feel so good right at the start of the race. Once you get that first lap and the tires warmed up, you can literally rip around here full throttle for about 10 good laps. But man, you have absolutely cooked your entire 40-lap run if you do that.
Yep. It's easy too on that right rear. You can get really hot, and it just once that right rear comes out from under you, that truck's going to be a handful, especially on corner entry, and it almost makes it even harder to run the top.
Harris down low, Flanagan up high. Flanagan ripping the boards. Harris sitting in the middle of the track. Harris with the advantage, near contact through the quad oval. Flanagan at the stripe, but Harris looks like he's got positioning going into 1.
Interesting to see. We've seen Harris ripping the top, making a lot of hay there, but he's going to try this pass on the bottom. Carty's going to be in tow. I just think that top line's just too good, and you see the 5 pull leg out to a substantial lead there.
I think Harris there noticed that it wasn't going to be a one move kind of overtake here. I think he took a step back, and he's going to reevaluate his options.
Yeah, he's got some time to kind of reset. Yeah.
Yeah. That put him right into the clutches of Drake Carty. So Carty down low for second.
Just like a lot of the tracks with these trucks, Emerson, you just getting to somebody's right rear is just the best passing option. You know, it's a lot of times there's, on most of these tracks, the bottom is so appetizing, but you can give up more.
Whoa.
Look out. They stay off each other.
Wow.
You can lose more trying to pass on the bottom than you are just to kind of ride in somebody's tire tracks on the top. So kind of got to weigh your options on some of these passes. That was a close call there off 4, though. That transition of banking as the run goes is going to get more and more treacherous.
So this has given new life to David Flanagan out in front. Harris trying to hang on to that number 87 machine as Drake Carty trying to make the most out of what seems like a fading Andrew Harris.
Yeah, I wonder if Harris just maybe tried the top too early.
Yup, there you go, baby.
No slider by Carty. I think Harris just turned left to avoid contact. I don't know if he's really trying to get back at him here, but that could have been bad there too on corner exit.
Man, Harris was ripping the boards, but Drake Carty is going to solidify himself in P2 right there. Battle here. Deeper in the field, non-playoff drivers, McKinney and Woodside, sorted out.
Yeah, a couple little just small groups of battles around the racetrack for the most part. Everybody's kind of strung out in the line. Oh, we got a truck on the inside wall on the backstretch. No caution. Can't tell who that is. That's the 15.
Joshua Siegfried in trouble.
Yep. Didn't look. I don't see any damage there, so I think he'll be okay. Fortunately, it was all on the apron for him, so it's not going to bring out a yellow, but he'll be okay. Cardi's starting to heat up a little bit.
Oh, he's there.
That smoke still lingering on the backstretch, kind of distracting for some of these guys.
So David Flanagan has found a new challenger in Drake Cardi. So Cardi rising to the point. Cardi wants to make something happen now on the 5 machine. He dives down low. Flanagan forced now to run the boards. Cardi powers up. Side by side down the back. Cardi and Flanagan.
Pretty tight between these two here, this battle for the lead. You know, why does it matter? Well, we're talking about points all night, Emerson. Leading a lap is a bonus point. So it means everything for some of these guys.
Cardi clears. And Vickery hits the pit lane from lap 26. So, JB, that to me looks like a 3-stop strategy.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought was going to be the main play here.
Oh, we're not done.
The first of our takers. Yeah, we're not done with this battle. Flanagan, I thought, was going to get back to his right rear. It looks like he did, or maybe the 59 got a little bit loose and was able to give Flanagan another chance at it here.
Flanagan's there. He's not done.
No, he's staying right where he needs to. The unfortunate part is just it's so much a longer way around the track from the top than it is where the Cardi's running on the bottom. That a good slide job is going to make the difference, but the 59's got to be careful too not to get himself in some major trouble.
Ooh, big bobble there from Flanagan, but Cardi holds station.
Looks like these guys are going to settle it out. Well, it will. We saw Vickery come down pit road there. It'll be interesting to see if anybody's going to kind of follow in his footsteps and think about it. This time by Radke's in the 3 truck. 54's coming down of Jason Kradke as well. So it looks like these guys are starting to think about it a little bit.
Jeffrey Radke in the Genesis Technologies number 3 machine.
So what's interesting as far as the ones that have pitted so far, Vickery was running in right outside the top 5. Radke was running right inside the top 10. Radke was running a little further back. So you got the guys throughout the field choosing this strategy here, not just kind of one group. What's interesting, though, is you see the guys that have stayed out, the top 7 at least, all playoff drivers.
And Jeffrey Radke is locked in.
Yeah, and so maybe it's those guys that are thinking about more than the others.
Whoa! Big bobble for Radke.
It's a treacherous apron to get around here. It's also not an easy pit road to get on. We'll kind of be monitoring that as well.
Here we go.
That transition is not easy.
That's a big one. Shane Wolf.
Shane Wolf, yeah, one of our first big playoff guys that probably just needs to, mind his business today, and he's going to be just fine. He was really the only one really feeling a pretty nice point cushion.
Yeah, him and Doyle.
Yep. Teammates, drivers that have been good all year. They're probably going to play somewhat of a similar strategy here tonight. So far, no pit road penalties have been reported, but,
shout out James with the Underdog Fantasy sponsor.
Yeah, that's a nice looking truck, isn't it? A little bit different than the red, white, and blue we're used to on the 14.
He's got a coat there on the back bumper.
Things. Could be. Yeah, there you go. Get some sponsor plug working.
There you go.
Shane Wolf works as hard as anybody to get his racing operation going. You see him, too, getting a little sideways there on the apron. Keeps it gathered up, though. Cold tires are tough. You're already on a really flat part of the racetrack, and then it doesn't want to turn. Then all of a sudden it wants to turn too much. And if you're not paying attention, you can get yourself in a lot of trouble just simply exiting pit road.
Did Harris get the wall right there? My goodness.
Yeah, it looks like he scraped it a little bit, and you got to be careful with that because this is a track too where, the physics aren't like they are in real life. Where if you touch the wall, you kind of bounce off. You can get sucked into the wall and stuck to it, and that can cost you a whole lot of positions and a whole lot of time. So, you got to be kind of careful playing that game. But it's there's speed up there, so it's a risk you're willing to take.
How about Kyle Johnson in the 48? Here we go. Trying to get to the outside of Flanagan, and he did, but at the back off now, drives underneath.
Last couple weeks have been good for the driver, the number 48. We've been talking about him week in, week out, racing up front. Sean Merriman and James Shainwolf just got together on track. I saw that out of the corner of my eye. They both keep it going in the right direction.
A lot of damage.
Pit road this time.
A lot of damage for our Michigan race winner.
But, like you said, Emerson, locked in with that win. So, he has a little less stress coming in here tonight. So, things don't quite go your way. It's all right. We pick up and move on. Nobody else flirting with pit lane this time by. So, you're beginning to wonder then if they're not going to split it into thirds, what's going to be the play? And I still think if you've been saving, the one stop is possible, but the tire delta is going to be big. Here's a look at what happened there.
Oh, bad timing.
Ooh.
A little bit of net code as well.
That was like some terrible net code. Yeah, those trucks weren't even close. So tough for Merriman there. But you saw, Emerson, I was just talking about the tire delta or the change in speed. You saw how fast the 14 was coming up on the 18 there on those fresh tires. I mean, that was fast closing time. And I'm just looking at the lap times now. Last time by, Drake Carty ran a 31.811 as the leader. Radke, who pitted first, who's back out there, just ran a 30.336.
Yeah, look at it right here. There goes Radke.
Yeah, second and a half difference a lap is what these new tires are getting, Emerson. So,
Harris in the wall.
Keeps it off of Lane Doyle.
Wow. Doyle's gonna finally get past the 87 as a result.
But as a second and a half delta a lap, Emerson, that kind of makes me think twice about the one-stop strategy. That's giving up a lot of time.
We're in it now, JB. We are 10 laps away from making this on a one-stop.
Yeah, the only drivers that will clearly from this point look like they're talking about doing the two-stop strategies. Jeffrey Vickery, Jason Kradke, Jeffrey Radke, and James
Look at this. Here we go. This is Radke unlapping himself. This is
that's
huge.
The leader of the race, and he's just going to blow right by him. I mean, it's not even going to be particularly close. I mean, look at that right there. That's a lot of the time there is on corner entry. Second half lap difference that's what it looks like right there. And that delta is growing too. It's not getting any smaller. Almost up to 2 seconds a couple laps ago. It looks like it's slowly starting to level off now, but you save all that time on pit road and give up that time on the racetrack. And honestly, it depends on your driver preference, right, Emerson? Some people like to be on offense, some like to be on defense. Sometimes you play the strategy based on how you like to drive it.
Well, it looks like the strategy right now for Drake Carty is go, man, go. He has a 1 second advantage already. Here's Charlotte. And gaining every corner entry.
And then, within the next 10 laps, if they're playing the one-stop strategy, we'll see him come down pit road. I think you'll see some, maybe 45, 46-ish, maybe some more at the 48, 49-ish range.
Yeah, 47, 48 is halfway.
Yeah, because that's about right with the run. I think you can squeeze it to a few more laps because as these tires degrade, you spend a little bit more time off throttle.
Hey, JB, check this out. Look at the RPM for Carty.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like he's pushing that pedal all the way down. is what
No,
I'm
it sounds
saying.
like he's definitely trying to save some.
Yep.
Yeah,
Look right here.
Maybe. Yeah, that's definitely not just crushing throttle to the floorboard, which, Emerson, whenever I see that drastic of a fuel savings, that makes me think that maybe wasn't saving a lot to begin with, and then I look down at the lap ticker of how many laps I have left and realize, oh, I gotta save some here, and give up a little bit more time. But in contrary, he's not giving up any time to the lead, so everybody else could be doing the same thing.
Maybe I was just overthinking it. Connor Cunningham into the top 5, battling Andrew Harris.
Connor's just slowly been working his way up through the field tonight.
This is one of those drivers that a must-win.
Yeah, I mean, all the way up to 5th now. And whenever I see a race that's going to run long strategy, I always think of Connor because he's just really good at managing his stuff, getting there to the end. And then if the situation works itself out where he's got a shot at the lead, he's a guy that's not afraid to stick a nose in there and make it happen. So he's just had some unfortunate luck this year that's unfortunately taken out of some really good opportunities. I mean, he should have been a multi-race winner this year, but sometimes that's how the cards fall. But whenever I think of a strategy race with long green flag runs, he's at the top of the list.
This time by will be 50 laps to go for our race leader Drake Carty, and looks like 1 round of pit stops for everyone inside the top 14 and Joshua Siegfried.
And the pit road's about to be a busy place in the next few laps, Emerson, and now the battle becomes getting on pit road clean, no speeding penalties on pit entry or pit exit, making sure you stay below that apron line on pit exit. There's a lot that can happen here. Green flag pit stop sounds simple, but they're anything but simple. There's a lot that goes into it, and it's easy to get yourself in trouble, and here comes the first few.
Scott Kalal, he wants his service now.
All right, so Scott's going to open the window, and I think, like I said, it's going to be pretty busy here over the next couple of laps.
Down and away is the 23. And we are now halfway through the running here at Charlotte. And there's Carty. And here comes Andrew Harris.
It looks like he's going to make the dive right here. Just see him get it woed down. Does a really nice job with the transition. That's a beautiful pit entry right there.
Yeah.
That's textbook. 46 coming down. 96 as well. Joe Ruggles is hitting the pit lane. Nice clean 96 truck for Joe so far tonight. Was running 14th, so Joe's having himself a good evening. Interesting to see how long Carty runs this out.
Yeah.
And as I say that, here he comes.
Here he comes. Leader's in.
Ooh, a little smoke of the tires there on entry, but it looks like he gets it down. Oh, same thing for the 48. Yeah, these guys trying to get all they can on pit entry.
Andrew Harris down and away.
.45's coming down this time. Just a few more left to cycle out.
Yep. Still waiting on the top 6. And Joshua Siegfried.
Who was the one that went for the early spin, so he's probably playing the long game here, hoping for a yellow.
Flanagan is in.
Yep. quick on entry there, but it gets
Oh,
it slowed
baby.
down right before the commitment line. That's one thing here about Charlotte, that first like outside barrel is not the pit speed line. It's actually further down where that yellow cone you see is.
There's Ben's beautiful truck.
Ben Park. Yeah, that's a nice looking Michael Steele
You see right there,
designs paint.
memory of Grandma Judy.
Yep. Who we referenced at
Oh,
the beginning of this. Oh, get a quick backup, but he saved that pretty quick.
Connor's in.
Still rocking the Rainbow Warriors look on the number 24 truck. Another Michael Steele graphics and designs product. Got some great paints on some of these trucks. Does all the Park Brothers Racing team. I know he's painted other stuff too within this series, and especially within Speed Racing Network, and always is cranking out some really cool stuff. Siegfried with a nice smooth pit entry, so that should cycle us out, I believe.
Here
once
comes
Luttrell
Luttrell
and
Dan
Dan
Park.
come, which are they're coming this time. Very similar looking scheme for Dan as well to his brother, almost a carbon copy. Really cool to see them here tonight and honoring their grandmother in that process. And it's something we do here well at SRN here, Emerson. We every year, you know, all these drivers become family, and so we treat them as our own, and we grieve together. We go through those moments together, and they do a lot for us. We want to support them. Oh, caution, front stretch. Andrew Harris, Jason Key. Just as Luttrell and Dan were getting their service.
Oh my goodness, Kratky's truck is destroyed.
Oh my gosh. And that thing's smoking.
That thing is junk.
And this is going to get those guys that pitted early track position.
Yes, it will.
Kratky, Shane Wolf will jump Cardi. And we'll see how everybody else cycles out. Some of those guys that just came off pit road, if they didn't go a lap down, they might be able to stay out and really take advantage of this, but we'll get a replay.
Here we go, Jimmy. Our first caution of the night. On turn 4.
Ooh.
Oh, man.
Ooh. No. Hard hit by Kratky. And that, you know, that's a tough look at it there because on corner exit, you know, that wall kind of jets out a little bit. If you got somebody outside, you got to give him enough room. Looks like Harris gave him enough room. Not sure if the 54 was crossed up a little bit on corner exit or something like that.
Well, here we go. This is Harris.
Already a little wavy. Can't tell if the 54 is loose there at all, or Harris just assumes he's going to be a little higher in corner exit and just does not work out that way.
Boy, Harris gets away with one there.
Yeah, and Harris was coming on much fresher tires too, so going to be on that offense, going to be on that aggression level. And luckily for him, right, you're right, Emerson, that could have been much worse.
We'll get one more look at his onboard of Jason Kratky.
Kratky has retired from this event. That truck was probably not going to be able to continue regardless.
Oh, he got loose.
Yeah, he's a little loose, yeah. That makes a little bit more sense on why he wasn't all the way up against the wall. Just a tough scenario there. Just, you know, we don't want to use that term, just one of them racing deals, but and those guys are on pit road. Think about this. You got a truck coming right at you. You're in your box getting your service. But they both got off clean. We'll reset it for you here in a second because they're still cycling through.
Yeah, we're going to take this moment and hear a quick message from our partners here at Speed Racing Network. Then we'll give you the reset on the way back. So don't you go anywhere. Drake Carty leads here in Charlotte. Welcome, race fans, back to the virtual Charlotte Motor Speedway. We are looking for a restart here with 39 laps to go. Drake Carty is your race leader. The top 10 have stayed out. Radke on down did come down pit road. And I believe Ruggles was the free pass. So here we go. The iRacing.com safety vehicle will find its safety down pit lane. The field in the hands of Drake Carty. It's our first restart of the day on lap 56. Green flag in the air. Racing resumes with Charlotte. Oh no, crash in the back. Chris Luttrell hard into the outside wall, and that could be his
Sean
playoff.
Woodside gets the inside wall really hard. Yeah, his hood is affixed vertically on that truck. I don't know if I've seen that one before.
Unfortunate for Sean Woodside, the hood comes down, but JB, that could be the season
Oof.
for Chris
Yeah, that
Luttrell.
could be it for Chris.
We'll catch a look at it. Huge hits there out of turn 4, JB. So this was going into turn 3. They're all packed up.
Yeah. Looks like the zero. Oh, he's going to get loose. Chris gets really loose. Net code contact with a truck there below. And then unfortunately for Woodside, he had nowhere to go. And he took a lick to, I think those are a tire pack or maybe a small safer barrier there on the inside wall that kind of is in play because of the road course here. That's what popped that hood straight up in the air, which, like I said, that's a new one. I don't know if I've seen that one before. We'll get a good look at it here. Yeah, Chris just gets loose there. I mean, you're in such dirty air right in that area. That's easy to do on a restart on cold tires.
Oh, he
see the
bumped
contact
the
in the inside wall.
safer barrier.
Yeah, that's a tough lick for the 45. Probably going to be terminal for both those trucks, unfortunately.
Yeah.
We saw the 00 smoking quite a bit, and obviously with the hood not fully attached to the 45, that's significant damage for him as well. Prior to that, though, we saw Connor Cunningham clear himself to the lead, which was exciting and not surprising. We talked about we reset what happened during that caution for you, so Jeffrey Radke and crew on back came down, and the rest of these guys stayed out. And those fresh tires went to work quickly, and you get a good look at it here at the steering wheel. It just gets loose. I believe he took 2 tires on that stop as well, so it kind of adds up to why that might be the case. Also, just being in dirty air is not easy on these restarts.
But it's the silence as he slides back that just speaks volumes for Chris Luttrell and the hopes of his season. Chris Luttrell was the first driver into the Speed Race Network HairClub Truck Series playoffs this season, JB, and he will be one of the last ones eliminated.
Yep, he'll still have a chance at some championship money though, being able to finish in the top 10 in points. So he's still got a little bit to race for over the next few weeks, but unfortunately his championship hopes are going to come to an end tonight, and that's just the brutality of the playoffs. I mean, that's why we watched the NASCAR playoffs so vividly, because just one moment can just completely change the complexion of an event and how it unfolds. And so unfortunately for Chris, he's the example tonight.
He got it done at the season opener at Daytona, and we thought Luttrell was going to go on a hot streak, and for what it's worth, he just played it cool. He turned up the wick here in the playoffs, but it won't be enough as he comes into today's race 14 below the cut line. It was going to take a lot of help, and part of that was him finishing the race. But here we go.
Yep.
We still have 8 playoff drivers on the lead lap. And Sean Merriman's truck is still rolling around here. Though he's locked in, so he can have as much fun as he'd like. But you're right, JB. Connor Cunningham took the lead on that restart, and so Connor Cunningham has the field in his hands as he approaches the restart zone. The iRacing.com safety vehicle in pit lane. Green flag back in the air. Racing resumes from Concord. Oh no!
Oh,
Jeffrey
no.
Radke hard into the outside wall. That caution's going to come back out. And for Radke, man, is he lucky. And he is locked in to the next round.
No kidding. God, that truck went for a ride. We'll have to get a look at that. That truck went straight to the right. There had to be something happen there.
It just took off. I mean, we didn't even get to fourth gear yet, really. Well, you know what, JB? There was a lot of commotion on this restart.
There was another truck in trouble
Here we
near the
go.
back. I couldn't tell who it was.
Yeah,
We'll
we're
get a
gonna
look at
see it
here.
right here. You know, everything back here, JB, gets jumbled up. Trucks on trucks and door checking. But right there, Radke
Yeah.
gets into Kyle Johnson. Radke then enters on the apron, JB, upsets the balance of the truck. And Harris.
Oh no! Holy net code. Well, that was pretty unfortunate.
My goodness.
We don't blame netcode a lot, but I think there's no argument on that one. That was. I mean, you do a blimp shot of that. There's half a truck between those guys. We've seen a few instances of it tonight. We saw it with that Shane Wolf incident a little earlier. This would be a great look at it. Yeah, Kyle Johnson was the truck I saw slower near the back. It looks like he just got a little upset with some contact there, but didn't hit nothing. And watch this right here. Man. And what a hit. Oh, and was that Joe Ruggles that missed that?
Yeah, Joe is always pulling one of those moves, huh?
Goodness. To see a truck like violently spinning out of control right in front of you like that, that's impressive by Joe to miss that right there. That's really hard to do. You almost have to guess which way that truck's going to go. A really good look at it right here. Yeah, you see that truck go sideways, and Harris really doesn't make contact with him. And watch this hit. My goodness. Almost goes all the way over.
Huge hit for Jeffrey Radke.
And there's Joe sneaking by on the inside. Like I said, impressive.
And so that will bring Jeffrey Radke's race to a close.
And when we talk about netcode, I always like to explain what it means for those that might not understand. So, obviously everybody on track is racing from different parts of the world, different parts of the country, and the internet servers have to guess of the truck's location at all times, and sometimes they disagree, and that space can cause what they call predicted contact, where they assume within the gaps of the trucks that those trucks will make contact, and the internets disagree, and that's a result of what you saw right there. So, kind of the best way to explain that. It's unfortunate. It's just an unfortunate part of the iRacing service, and it's really nobody's fault. It's just sometimes the internet disagrees with us.
Yeah, it's one of the very few flaws, the inconsistencies with this wonderful world of internet sim racing. But you're right, JB. We have people from all across the country and one Canadian, as Scott Kalal is still
That's
out
right.
here.
Yep.
But from all over. And it's trying to transmit information in, split seconds. And sometimes it gets it wrong, man. It's part of it.
Yep.
It's just one of the things these drivers have to contend with. And we move on as the iRacing.com safety vehicle will find its safety down in the pit lane. The field in the hands of Connor Cunningham. Green flag back in the air. Racing resumes from Charlotte. Connor leads that lap, 30 laps to go here from the Charlotte Motor Speedway. And JB, talk about must-win situations. Connor rising to the occasion now. We'll see if he can hold station now for 30 more laps.
Yeah, the strategy really working well in his favor. I mean, cycled out with really fresh tires when that caution came out because he had just pitted. Played the long game. Now he's got clean air too, and that's the bus that truck's going to drive all night. And then you have guys that were up front here like Drake Carty stuck in this absolute mess of trucks basically from third on back. That's not conducive to being able to save tire or stay out of trouble for that matter. Yeah.
How about Bo Brady in the 9 machine, JB? One of the non-playoff drivers, but we haven't mentioned him early all day. Bo Brady. Oh, looking to make a name for it. Saw some smoke up there. Not sure if that was Connor lighting him up or something from last lap.
Yeah, I've noticed the residual smoke staying around a little bit more often tonight. But yeah, Bo, he's been in and out this season. Had some good runs. I mean, we've seen him put some good things together, and he was just battling on the fringe of that top 5. Had a pretty good effort tonight. I'm surprised Drake Hardy in the 59 truck. He came back down pit road. Get some service, and that truck's been neutralized since he's gotten out of the clean air, and that's how much that clean air can help sometimes.
Oh, you're telling me his truck got worse.
Business. Yeah, also doesn't help when one of the best in the business, James Shanewolf, is battling you. He's not going to make it easy.
How about Lane Doyle under attack from Andrew Harris in this battle for third? Harris ripping the boards.
Yeah, just like we saw earlier, and I think he sees those 2 trucks in front of him getting smaller and smaller. He knows he has to go.
So Harris puts the pedal down and he goes forward. Loyal not really following suit. Doyle kind of staying at bay. I wonder if Doyle knows the limit on how hard to push it or not. But Harris, yeah, I think you're right, JB. Part of his way into the next round of playoffs is winning and not having someone like underneath him in points like Connor Cunningham. Well, I guess Harris is underneath Connor, but they're both 5 points separating them, but they're both way below the cut line. But not having Connor win would also open up a spot for Andrew Harris to take. So Harris tries to do something about it.
And Harris now knows with 24 to go. He sees those 2 trucks in front of him. He knows that's his championship hope. So he's gonna get all he can out of that truck over the next 24 laps to try to get there. And we'll see what happens here. I think on a long haul thing, Connor's gonna be tough to beat, but you do have a David Flanagan machine in between, and that could throw a wrench in these plans.
We'll see how aggressive these drivers get to play before too long. Here, 23 laps to go. Sounds like not that many laps, but I tell you, when you are wearing on those right rear tires, left rear tires, it is an eternity.
Yeah, it starts to feel like longer and longer as it goes. And I mean, looking at the leaders, David Flanagan about a 10th faster a lap, but I kind of attribute that to just the tow he's getting off the 24 truck. Don't know how different those two trucks are right now, but and we see Shane Wolf too. He's starting to make a little bit of a march here, up quite a few positions from the restart.
Yeah, Shane Wolf's on it. Doyle not pushing the issue yet, so I wonder if this thing goes long, does Doyle know what's up, or is he just not there tonight? And remember, if Connor wins, that steals a spot away. And if somebody else can work their way in, as there's a battle for the lead, Flanagan gets to the outside of Connor. And now Connor's got to fight hard on the inside. This could be for his season.
Yeah, I wonder how hard Connor's going to push this now. Maybe wondering if he can get back to him later. Looks like Connor's going to give it all he has right now, knowing this could be the championship hope.
And Flanagan knows it. Just like himself, Flanagan's on the cut line. By the way, Kyle Johnson just had some trouble, JB. And Kyle Johnson is out of this race.
Uh-oh, that's trouble.
Flanagan goes to the lead. Kyle Johnson is out. That is his season.
All right, so some of these guys are starting to eliminate themselves, but there's still a fierce battle up front. And Connor's not going to let this go easy.
Connor's going to push this one hard.
Into 1 and 2. Yeah, he's driving all he can on that 24 truck. I don't think he's going to be able to get any side draft here off the 5 to really help.
He's trying to get to his quarter panel, JB, his right rear. Excuse me.
He's got a teammate in his mirror who also needs to win this race to advance in the playoffs.
Yup.
So this could get interesting.
If Andrew gets up there, I don't know how much teammates are going to play right here. But, JB, as I said, if Connor or Harris wins, or Flanagan right there in the thick of it, right, like wins, and somebody else points their way in, that puts the cut line right between Shane Wolf and Doyle coming into today's race. They were 1 point separated from one another. And right now, Shane Wolf is massively outrunning Lane Doyle. For some reason, Doyle has not turned up the wick yet. 3 wide in front of him, though.
3 wide battle in front of him. Probably not what he exactly wants to see right now.
But they were all behind him before.
Yeah.
So he let them get ahead of him. Oh, baby.
Oh, that was really tight there.
Still 3 wide. Somehow Joshua Siegfried is roaring to life after spinning on the back straightaway.
Hey, don't count him out just yet.
I wouldn't. Back up front, Connor, he's got to get up high, man.
Yeah, and I'm just... What's helping Connor here is he's not let the 5 go. Like, he's not letting him pass and drive off, so Connor's able to keep up some pace here. I'm just wondering, too, Connor just committing to that bottom, knowing that he can kind of make the 5 use a little bit more tire than maybe he wants to. Is that kind of the play the 24 is thinking? That definitely could be.
15 laps to go.
He's making the 5 enter higher and have to drive it down the racetrack, and that does hurt the tires of that truck a little bit. But eventually, you got to look up at the ticker.
His right front isn't doing himself any favors right now either.
No, and you do have to, like I said, look up at the ticker and realize, oh, I only got 15 left here to go, and you're gonna have to make a move sooner rather than later.
Dalton McKinney trying to snap a winless streak here, JB.
Yeah, somebody who we said multiple times this year. I mean, he should have been.
Oh, in the walls, Bo Brady.
You see, McKinney should have been a multi-race winner this year, and just hasn't had the luck fall his way. But he's still got a couple chances left this season to notch that win column. Doesn't help him win a championship, but it's always good to win an SRN race whenever you can in a season.
Joshua Siegfried working on James Shane Wolf right here. And clearing up right in front of the 14. And I don't know, Shane Wolf liked that. They're going 3 wide down the back.
Tight. Hardy and Shane Wolf do stay off each other, but barely.
Oh, no.
Really
Oh,
tight
no.
slide job there by the
Oh,
59.
no.
15 catches a little bit of the fence. You all keep it going the right way, at this point at least.
Drake Carty playing fire there. Slide jobs in front of somebody with nothing to lose. Very, very.
A dangerous game to play.
Yeah.
You pull off sliders with nothing to lose.
Oh, they're getting physical now.
You're going to just move them? All these
shoved
trucks
them
are
into
getting
the
real
corner.
physical right here together.
Yeah, they are.
Which usually doesn't come in a sentence at Charlotte Motor Speedway, but that's where we're at. So at this point in the evening.
Battle for second now. Connor under attack from Andrew Harris and the second back of David Flanagan.
And how easy does Connor give this to his teammate, knowing it could be a chance for his team to run for a championship? We will find out here shortly.
Bo Brady and Ben Park battle it out here in the South end
Again,
of the top 10.
A little physicality.
Whoa, my goodness.
Drive him up into the fence, and then squeeze him in the fence, and he's going to take a fun ride through the grass or artificial turf.
Wow.
And does not wreck, somehow. Impressive save there by Ben. Well, Harris has gotten by Cunningham for second, so that answers that. Now under attack by
McKinney.
46 of Dalton McKinney. So now Harris clear of second solo. We'll see if he can close the gap up
McKinney,
on the leader.
Sideways.
Ooh. Real loose.
8 to go. McKinney and Cunningham duel it out now for third.
McKinney with the preferred line up top is going to have the momentum. Now Drake Carty peeking his head back in the picture, and we haven't seen him be a factor since that first caution, that green flag pit stop cycle.
Everyone hanging those trucks rear ends out, and David Flanagan continues to drive away. Oh man, McKinney is lighting up that right rear tire.
This pack staying together is exactly what David Flanagan wants to see, because they are not gaining any time on that 5 truck, and he continues to click laps off in a hurry. We're already down to 6 to go.
Here goes Carty. Connor. Down low is the 59, up high is the 24. Here goes Connor up high to try to get Carty back. Andrew Harris under heavy pressure from McKinney. All of this, 5 laps to go. Goes on a second, 1.7 seconds back of David Flanagan.
And time is running out for Andrew Harris and Connor Cunningham to extend their playoff hopes, unfortunately. Laps are clicking by at a tough pace, and a little too far away from that number 5 truck, I believe, to make the difference without there being another stoppage in the race.
Oh my goodness, but Harris, that sideways, it might not be over.
Yeah, well, we could always see one of them other colored flags. Not going to jinx it, come out here toward the end, but everybody is pretty strung out other than this little group we're watching right here with Drake Carty, Andrew Harris, and Connor Cunningham. Dalton McKinney now free to second, but I guess I would think he's too far back from the leader to have an impact on that.
Yeah,
result.
2.2 seconds now. Everyone's sideways. And now Carty sends it down into 3 and 4. Harris hanging on to that 87. Pops the wall, 2 to go.
You are racing like it's for the win almost. But hey, there's a little bit of a payout difference between some of these spots, so you are going to challenge for all you can get.
Yep.
And Harris is just driving the wheels off that thing, trying to get every ounce that he can out of it. Fortunately, that is him going the wrong direction.
Connor will throw it down into the corner. Harris trying to hang on. To no avail. 1 lap to go from the Charlotte Motor Speedway. It's been quite the season for this number 5 machine. David Flanagan, the self-proclaimed plate race king, got his first career SRN win at Darlington to lock himself in to the playoffs. He got the win in Atlanta to lock himself into this round. And now, peaking at the right time, maybe, David Flanagan will win at Charlotte as Andrew Harris has crashed behind. Lane Doyle is in defense. And James Shanewolf plummeted down to running order, JB. The 14 might be in trouble.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. I was just looking at that. That's what kind of why I was silent. I was looking further back, and I saw trouble around that 14 truck, and costing him that many spots could have an impact on how this finishes up. We'll find out here in a second. Emerson, I'm going to go ahead and step away and get to work on some points so I can bring you some results here before we cut off the stream.
You got it. As David Flanagan, he's got it. Light it up across the front straightaway turf. David Flanagan, now a 3-time winner this season, locks himself into the championship 5 as a result. David Flanagan continuing his celebration here on the front straightaway as well, there's the gray smoke, so that'll be towards the end of the celebration for David, but getting it done at the right time is now 3rd win on the season for that 5 machine. David Flanagan wins here at Charlotte. I'm going to bring up that number 5 machine. Maybe. There you are. We'll have the opportunity here to talk to our race winner for the 3rd time this season. David Flanagan, you are a winner here in SRN. This time it's at Charlotte, and it gets you into the championship 5.
Yes, sir. I don't know how I just did that, honestly.
Well, talk about it. It was you and Connor Cunningham going blow for blow on that final restart. How about it?
Yeah, I knew Connor had pit a lap after me on that green flag pit stop there, so I was just going to try and make him run hard and just try and know. I learned a lot from that first run. I really killed my tires. So I knew if I can make him run hard, he would do the same, and that's what I did. Just stay consistent, and ended up getting past him. And after that, just held on to it, and now I'm in the championship 5.
Now, David, you came into today's race 2 points above the cut line. If you didn't get the win there, it looked points wise you were still going to make it, at least from the results that were running there the last 15, 20 laps. But does the confidence in yourself shift, if you pointed your way in as opposed to getting it done and winning your way into the championship 5?
Yeah, definitely. I was stressing out about this race quite a bit, honestly. I was thinking about it all day. I needed a lot of things to go right, but at the end of the day, I needed to win it. And just winning this and going into the championship 5, I mean, I just feel unstoppable. So we're gonna bring that momentum and hopefully get a win in Phoenix, and then home track literally live 5 minutes away from Texas, so there's no excuse there.
Oh, well, all of us are here in the great state of Texas, so there you go. Um, but yeah, David, 2 race round for the championship 5, 2 very different tracks. Legacy Phoenix doesn't get as much love as it should on the sim. You kind of mentioned your aspirations, but what do you think your actual chances are? As you now look at Phoenix and Texas, and how you think you'll fare.
I haven't really ran a lot of Legacy Phoenix, so I'm gonna have to get some laps on there. I ran kind of the newer Phoenix, but Texas, I feel like when it comes down to it, that's gonna be where it's gonna be won at, and I feel like that's gonna be my best track in it. So I'm looking forward to both, and hopefully just finish good in Phoenix and then wrap it up in Texas.
Well, there you go, David. Congratulations on your 3rd win on the season. Once again, winning at the right time. And David Flanagan, you are in the championship 5.
Thank you. Thanks, guys. I bet the call was awesome. I'd like to thank Jack Shack, Rolo Tonys, all the boys that helped me here. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. And so that is our race winner, driver of the number 5 in David Flanagan. We'll take this opportunity now to talk to our 2nd place finisher, driver of the number 46 in Dalton McKinney. And Dalton, my goodness, man, it's been quite the season for you. I know to this point you have just been looking for some luck to go your way. It looks like tonight that does happen for you with this nice P2 finish. What more could you have done differently, though, to maybe get that victory?
Oh man, I don't think there was a lot. I restarted 12th, I think 11th or 12th during that last restart, and I just kind of ran back there for, I don't know, 5-10 laps, just trying to let the heat get in the tires. And I knew I had fresher tires than everyone else, and I knew once I started it was going to be tough to get through them. And there's just so many guys that on older tires, whenever they're defending, they defend in such a weird way to where they'll run you all the way down the backstretch to the infield pretty well, and just so you have a harder entry into 3. And I had 3 or 4 guys that did that to me. So if I could have got around some of them guys a little quicker on older tires, I may have had a shot. But just the way that they were racing, they slowed themselves down more than anything, but they were just doing everything they could to defend their position, and it makes it tough. And I knew once I got to 2nd, I was probably pretty well done. My right front was absolutely cooked to that point.
Well, Dalton, as you mentioned, it was very physical out there. Now, a lot of those guys who were battling were literally drivers who were in must-win situations, fighting and clawing for their last gasps for their seasons. But what was the racing like out there? It looked really aggressive, a lot of physicality out there at a track we don't normally see that kind of physicality from.
Yeah, it kind of blew my mind. Like, I just going down the backstretch, they would just door you all the way down the infield. I had it happen a handful of times, and it just then neither one of us have the entry into 3. Like we're both chasing it up the track and just roasting our right fronts. Where if they just kind of allow you to get up beside them, and there's a way to defend. You can run the top and defend your position pretty well, but once you start running them down to the white line and whatnot, it kills both cars or both trucks so much. And yeah, I understand. I definitely understand that it's a lot of playoff drivers, and I I mean, I don't think I only had a 1X. I drove through the grass once. I was able to, stay clean. I know how I've been in these positions. I think I made it to the Final Four the last 2 seasons. So I've been there. I understand what these guys are going through. Just I wish I wish it could have been a little bit cleaner. You like to have clean racing, and I feel like a lot of trucks there in just them last few laps wrecked, and even on the white flag, it looked like there was a pretty good wreck right outside the top five possibly. So it's frustrating to run a long race like this for it to come down to some questionable driving, but as part of it, I can't complain with the P2, especially with how this season's been. It's been absolutely awful, and I'm so much like for the iRacing, you make your own luck. People say that they have bad luck and whatnot, but I mean, and I've always been against that. But boy, this season has been brutal. I feel like every time I pit, there's a caution when I'm a lap down, or I get caught up in someone else's mess, and it's been a tough season for me. So to be able to finish P2 here tonight, get on the podium, I'm a lot more excited than when I sound. I'll feel a lot better once I step away, I'm sure.
I got you there, brother. Dalton, next up is Legacy Phoenix, the penultimate race on the season. What do you think about your chances there, bud?
I'm not a huge Phoenix guy. I've had some good runs there. I don't know if I've been on the Legacy track for a while. So I'm looking forward to that. But I just like to come and have fun, help my teammates as much as I can, and yeah, I mean anything can happen. I wasn't a top two truck tonight. I was probably a 10th to 12th place truck, and I held on to my set of tires. I held on to a set of tires as long as I could, and I kind of lucked out. It's split my luck tonight. Whenever I finally pitted for tires, we didn't have another caution, and I was on the freshest tires the rest of the race. So if that happens again, I love my chances. But the way this season's been going, I'm not going to hold my breath.
Well, Dalton, nonetheless, congratulations on your podium this evening, your P2, and best luck to you next time out for you as we head to Legacy Phoenix.
Man, I really appreciate it. I want to send a shout out to my girlfriend. We rushed home from Walmart so I could race tonight. So thanks to her, and then thanks to Johnny Williams. He's my painter. Always has me looking good. Always appreciate him. And then everyone at Threat Level Midnight Motorsports. I love racing with them guys. Love having them in my ear. So always appreciate you guys in the booth and with the league. And thank you guys.
Absolutely, Dalton. Great to hear from you again, bud. And that was our second place finisher, driver of the number 46 in Dalton McKinney. We'll now get the chance to talk to our third place finisher tonight, driver of the number 59 in Drake Carty. And Drake, my goodness, man, that truck looked like a handful. What about you, man? What say you?
Yeah, it was a great race for me. This is my first race I did with SRN with the recruitment races at Charlotte. I ended that race crashing out lap 2. So having a third place finish really shows how far I've come this year. I just can't thank my team, DG Motorsports, enough for helping me. Ibach truck was flying the first half of the race. I really thought I managed that well and saving tires and pulling out a decent lead. Pit stops were a little tricky. Just didn't get that right today.
Well, Drake, it was a hard-fought battle. I know we're still waiting on the final tallies, but it looks like third might be a little too short for you. What more could you have done differently today?
I mean, lock in with the win, but not everything can go your way. I had a really bad race first round of this playoff round. I was leading and got a black flag and ruined the race. So I have no one else to blame but me. I ruined it for this round and just trying to play catch up. So, yeah, just can't thank everyone enough. DG Motorsports, Long Performance, Tony G's Pub, Last Lap Insider, follow them on Instagram. Tommy and Greg Dawson, my friends and family, and the broadcast. Thanks for hosting such a great series.
Absolutely, Drake. And if this is the end of the year out for your playoff hopes, you still have 2 races left to get some wins, get some extra pocket cash for you there. What do you think about your chances at Legacy Phoenix?
Well, when I first got iRacing about like a year and a half ago, I only ran the NASCAR, like the Pickup Cup, I think it's called, at Legacy Phoenix with the 2008 trucks, I think it is. I ran that. I thought that was the only thing I could do. I was a little lost, so I ran about 20 of those races and racked up a bunch of wins. So I'm very familiar with that track. Hoping I could continue with this series and possibly get a win to finish off the season.
Absolutely, Drake. Well, we still await the final tallies, but congratulations on your third place finish this evening. And if it wasn't meant to be for you to make it into that next round, best of luck to you on the way out of the season. Get yourself those couple victories, man. Hopefully we're talking to you a little later or in the next couple weeks.
Thank you so much. Thanks for hosting.
Absolutely. And that was our third place finisher, driver of the number 59 in Drake Carty. And we are going to take a look at those finishing results and how everyone came to the checkers this evening or didn't. And so there they are on your screen. It is David Flanagan with the victory here tonight to lock himself into that championship 5. It is Dalton McKenney who finishes second, Drake Carty finishing third, Connor Cunningham finishes 4th, Lane Doyle 5th, Joshua Siegfried 6th, Ben Parkin 7th, Bo Brady 8th, Scott Cologne 9th, and Dan Park 10th. JB?
Yeah, outside of that, James Shanewolf comes home 11th. We saw him drop there at the very end. We'll see how that plays in the playoff thing here in a second. Joe Ruggles, great run in 12th, kept that 96 truck clean all night. Jeffrey Vickery 13th, Andrew Harris 14th. Sean Merriman, last week's winner, 15th. Sean Woodside 16th, Kyle Johnson 17th. These drivers back here were all retired from the event. Radke came home 18th, Chris Luttrell 19th, and Jason Kradke 20th.
So that is how V20 drivers did or didn't come to the checkers this evening. But we do have to look at that final lap one more time before we get into the final point tallies, which I do have here. Let's go take one look back at that final lap, though, because there was a lot of chaos and carnage that appeared to have gone on there. So let's see if we can deduce what happened. And we go back here. This is Drake Carty. Looks like out in front there. Big hit off the outside wall. And Connor and Andrew Harris are battling it out. And see how physical they get. Into turn 2. Oh, he slams the wall. Collects Lane Doyle. And Harris is just along for the ride. And it does. Oh my goodness, there is James Shanewolf.
Yeah.
So Shanewolf just powering there to try to get it to the checkers. So that is how that final lap did tally out. But we do have our final result, or our final standings here for the round of 10. So JB did very much do that work while we were doing the post-race interviews, and here they are up on your screen, and you can look at it there. The drivers in Flanagan, Radke, and Merriman via wins. It is still Doyle and Shanewolf who locked themselves in via points. Drake Carty just missing out. Even a third place finish wasn't enough. He was still 5 points back. Connor Cunningham 10 points back. Great runs to both of them, but not enough. Kyle Johnson was 2 points outside the cut line coming into today's race. He finds himself 14 out as a result of his incident. Andrew Harris, valiant effort there at the end, but he'll find himself 26 points back. And Chris Luttrell out, one of the first layout drivers out tonight, 28 points back. JB, what's your takeaway?
Yeah, I mean, you look at the championship 5. So you know what's unique about this season is it's not a championship race; it's a championship round. We have Legacy, Phoenix, and Texas coming up the next couple weeks, and that's what these 5 drivers are going to have to do. So you know they're going to have to basically put together 2 really good races, and of course, in the circumstance that one driver wins one wins the other. Doesn't matter. Total points over those 2 races is still going to be the factor that plays into it. So, kind of a little bit of old school, new school mix in a way. You know, points do end up mattering here more than the wins these last two races for the top 5. The rest of those guys, you know, points still do matter because there's, you know, the top 10 points finishers do get season-end earnings payout, so they can still battle for a few more dollars between those spots. So. still a lot to be had. A lot to be had right there, but I mean, I look at those 5 and Emerson. I'm not surprised at all. Those guys ran well all year. Some of them found wins exactly when they needed to, but it's a pretty deserving championship 5.
A pretty deserving championship 5, but I'll hit the other ends of the spectrum. Drake Carty, JB, he looked so dominant so early in the season. We thought he was going to absolutely annihilate this field, and to come up shortly, that is definitely got to be a heartbreak. But he is a rookie, and I'm sure he'll come back stronger than ever next season. But man, what a great season for that young man, and to come up so short.
Yeah, and that happens. And Emerson, I just speak to that happens to the product. You know, he's an aggressive guy. You know, he races other guys pretty aggressively, and when you do that, it's going to be harder to pass guys because they're going to make it harder on you, right? And I think down the stretch that kind of played into a little bit of that, being a little bit harder for him. But yeah, like you were saying, he's just had a really good season this year to this point, and you know, he's got a bright future in racing wherever he chooses to actually end up. But yeah, of all the drivers who currently aren't in, that is the one that's kind of like, wow. I mean, you could also say the same about Andrew Harris, multi-race winner this year. Didn't have a great round this round, but that just shows you sometimes the worst thing you can do is have mistakes that take yourself out of it, whether it's your own doing or not.
Well, that is how the round of 10 will come to a close this season. 2 races left on the season, as you mentioned, JB, a championship 5 round, not race. 2 races, and the highest point tally of them both does win the championship. And so, before we close things out tonight, of course, we got to give a shout out to all of our series partners here at SRN. Of course, Premier Racing Setups is the longest running setup shop on iRacing. Established in 2016, they offer many different options to help take your sim racing career to the highest levels of iRacing. With over 50,000 customers worldwide, they have got the tools you need to compete with the best sim racers iRacing has to offer. Make sure you use code SPEEDNETWORK15 to save 15% off of your order. A huge shout out to, of course, the series namesake HairClub. Make sure you use code SRN10 to save 10% off of your HairClub purchases. ThermoPro, make sure you use code ThermoProTeam for 15% off of your ThermoPro purchases. And Admin Box, make sure to use code SRN-Box, that is BOXX, for 10% off of your Admin Box purchases. As far as tonight, that'll do it for our final Elimination Tuesday on the season here from the virtual Charlotte Motor Speedway. Thank you all so much for tuning in and joining us for tonight's action, and we hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. Stay glued to all of our social media outlets, our Facebook, our X, our Instagram, our LinkedIn, our Twitch, our YouTube, and of course the website, speedracingnetwork.com, for all your SRN updates. And make sure you join us next Tuesday night as the HairClub trucks head to Legacy Phoenix to kick off the championship round and at race 23 of 24 on the season. From all at Speed Racing Network, Jonathan Byer and myself, Emerson Arden, thank you all so much for watching.